scripting.
Oh, okay, we're on.
Yeah, we're on.
Sorry.
I'm making this happen. We gotta give the people what they want.
I'm over here looking at my phone. Okay, welcome back to A Life by You.
So Jen mentioned she really wanted to share scripting with you guys.
Yes.
And we kind of talked about it online, and we kind of have two different points of view in terms of what scripting is. But I think either approach could be very helpful for someone.
Oh, they definitely are very helpful. Absolutely. One's faster than the other, though.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, tell me your standpoint on scripting.
Okay, so let me just rewind a little bit. So when I started on my journey to changing my mindset, I picked up the book by Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. And in that book, she had a ton of affirmations. So the way you talk to yourself is the way you can actually transform the way you live. And I was very intrigued by this. So I read all her books, did all that stuff, and then I started to implement affirmations into my life. So anytime you get a negative thought come into your mind, you delete it and put in a positive thought. So this is what I started to do. And I started to do it daily, hourly, minute by minute, just start examining my thoughts, writing them down. Okay, I'm lazy today. I don't feel good about myself. Whatever my negative self-talk was, I would calculate a new script, a new affirmation. Now, my husband and I'm gonna fast forward. That took years, you guys. It's a lot of work to do that. Fast forward to I went to a conference in San Diego with some scientists that are into creating your own life. And he had talked about how you reprogram the subconscious.
Ooh.
Now, your subconscious mind, I don't know if you guys know this, the way you interact with the outside world is because of what's been stored in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind has been developed from the day you were in the womb to the day you are like 5 or 7 years old. So between that time span, the way you show up in the world and you interact with the world, it's your inner child, right? It's been programmed, you guys. So how do you undo that programming? Your conscious mind does not run your life. Your subconscious mind does. So when you're in your conscious mind, yeah, you're making these decisions, but it's your subconscious that's going to run the show. So I listen to all these other self-help stuff and do all this other things, and I'm like, why don't they ever just tell people how to really change their lives? Like, why are they making it so hard? Okay. So he said something very profound to me. I listen to meditation music. I've been hypnotized. I've done this. I've done that. I've done all of that. But what he said was, you're going to record yourself or have a recording. You're going to listen to it right before you're going to fall asleep. So when you're laying in bed and there's that moment when you're dozing off, that you are going to listen to this recording. And then you're going to help your subconscious mind reprogram itself. And I was like, that's it. That's all I gotta do. Oh my God, that's so much faster than saying positive affirmations and da-da-da-da-da. I was like, I mean, you still have to do other stuff, you guys. Don't get me wrong. But this was life-changing for me. So I told MJ, I was like, I'm going to start doing this. Like, I'm going to do scripts for people. Like, I'm going to help people do scripts. And I'm going to help, like, change your subconscious mind. And so I've been practicing that. So at night before I go to bed, I recorded myself what I want to try to manifest, how I want to change, whatever my limiting beliefs are at this time. And I've been using it, and I can honestly tell you it's been helping.
Really?
It really has.
So how long are they?
The one I have is 3 minutes.
Okay.
And I re-loop it.
Oh, you put it on repeat.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's just going.
Okay.
And then I wake up maybe at 2 a.m. and I take my earplugs out and then I turn it off.
Wow.
And so I'm listening to this and I don't even hear. After a while, you
don't
don't even hear it. You're sleeping.
It's just on. Yeah.
It's just on.
But you're still
your subconscious.
listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you're still alive, so everything's still working in your brain. So, reprogram the subconscious mind is the key to getting rid of limiting beliefs and to actually creating the life you truly want to live. it's so much harder if you don't tap into the subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
You can play off of the conscious,
Mm-hmm.
but for only so long until you fall back into old ways.
Mm.
You know how people like, I don't know how to, let me give an example. You're in a relationship with somebody, you don't want to be with them anymore.
Right.
And they're like, well, why don't you want to be with me? Why? I'll change. I'll do whatever. And then they change for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like they start changing behaviors and stuff like that. But they always fall back into their old ways.
Right.
The reason why is because they didn't change on a subconscious level.
So I actually do think that does work. Lucky and I do meditations in the evening, and how do I put it? When we don't do it, we usually do it most nights. When we don't do it, I can tell a different effect in her. But I just noticed she does grasp to a lot of the things that's being shared. So I'll share the app with you guys that I do. It's for children. And so they provide different little stories and just different mindset things.
Yeah.
And I listen to it and I end up falling asleep with her, to be honest. And I think it's very helpful. My experience with scripting has been a little bit different. It's been more on the conscious level, but let me take a step back. For me, my experience with scripting started back in 2020, and I had a coach during that time where we were challenged to start envisioning the life that we wanted to have. And so instead of just, thinking and it just spewing in your head and floating around, we had to get really intentional and start writing it down. So you were writing things out as you are your future self or your higher self or who you are when you arrive to the moment that you want to be.
Right.
And I struggled with it at first because it was just like, I'm used to journaling about right now, the present, or what happened in the past. It was difficult for me to say, okay, well, who do I want to be in the future? And they also challenged, because at the time I wanted to quit my job. That was like the one thing I wanted to do. So I was challenged to start scripting my life and how it would look like when I actually did this act. And what would happen when I woke up? What would happen, getting my daughter ready for school, and how would I live out my day? What would my weeks and my months look like once I finally make this shift in my life? Yeah. And it was, honestly for me, it was difficult because, again, I was programmed to look at life a certain way. I created the story that's become that was part of my subconscious for so long that I was going to get a job and work in that career and be at the mercy of someone forever. I really never looked beyond that, until I retired, because that was what I saw around me.
Been taught.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been taught, and that's what I saw around me from my parents and their parents and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So it was really a big challenge. And so for about a year, for a year, I was in this program where I was challenged to do that, and it was profound. And the crazy thing is, the more and more I did it, the easier it got. Because I struggled with this. Like, what the hell am I going to do? Like, when I wake up, what am I going to do? Like, I'm used to waking up and being on and like, oh, I got to check this and I got to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know how to turn that off. And so what was great about it is when I finally had the courage to leave my job, I actually didn't feel so lost.
Right.
Because I had already literally writing down what I was going to do. And so, and I haven't even looked back at what I wrote.
Right.
I think it'll be interesting. I remember what I wrote. And I'm now living that way. Like that to me, that's really profound. So for me, I don't know scientifically what it may have done, but I know for me, it helped rewire my brain and it helped prepare me for the vision that I had in mind so I could be successful for what I wanted in life. Because think about it, you've got basketball players who make it to the NBA, football players who make it to the NBA. Yeah. I'm sure they never think to themselves, what am I going to do with all this money? Oh, well, actually, no. They think about what they're going to do with all this money, but they don't think about how they're going to keep that money. They don't think about what's next. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, how am I going to the long
term.
The long term. They just think
I'm gonna get money work for me.
Right. How am I going to make this money work for me? And so I was really challenged to look at the long term. Like I think so many people, if quitting your job, for instance, I'm just going to quit my job and everything's going to be better. No, not exactly.
No, I don't recommend that.
You're going to have some challenges and some things that occur, and especially when you're in the framework or this container of a job where in a lot of ways they're telling you how to live your life and you're subjected to their schedule.
Yes.
It's really helpful to take a step back and start envisioning, well, no, this is how I would live my life without these rules, without this container, without these obligations. And it's just been I'm so thankful I get to live that life now that I created in my head.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing to me, and it just showed me how powerful I am. And it's something that I still continue to do. Like even with this YouTube, I have envisioned in my mind what we are going to be doing, you know, and the community that we're going to build, and the people that we're going to be able to connect with, and the shifts that we're going to be able to go through. And I can see it, I can feel it, it's very much available to me. And in a lot of ways, I have to prepare myself now for that later. You know what I mean? Because it's going to come.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm already in tune with it.
Well, the tools that you use when your coach had you write out a script about your future and stuff like that, all of that's going to just translate into the next phase of your life. But the one thing I want to ask you about, because you said it took about a year.
Yeah.
Now, within that year, what were those limiting beliefs that kept popping up in your head that didn't allow you to write that down?
That I wouldn't be able to do it.
Okay.
That's what kept coming up for me.
So, what I would have told you at that time if I were your coach is I would have been like, Mallory, let's write down those limiting beliefs that are not allowing you. And let's create a script that you're going to listen to. That's going to counteract every time you go to sit down and write that future down on a piece of paper.
Right.
I can't. Okay. Because you were able to do that, but it took some time. What I'm saying is, let's just get to the subconscious. Let's reprogram it. Let's get rid of those old programs. Let's put in the new ones, and let's start living our best life.
No, I love it. I think that there's a way to definitely use both to maximize
I
and
think
yield.
You have to.
Yeah, because you have to identify where you want to go.
Yes.
But you also need to tap into what's holding you back from getting there.
That's the key.
And then in order to supersize it, you now are listening to this to combat that and reprogram that thought.
Exactly.
So now you can get to where you want to go.
But do you guys understand what we're saying? You have to get rid of those limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
If you have a dream, and if any little thing is popping up in your head and saying, that won't work, you can't do that. Why? Where did that limiting belief come from? Was it because of the way you were raised, the way your family looked at money, what you were said, so a teacher told you in school one day, you'll never amount to anything? Those are huge beliefs that we carry with us, even though we don't think so, even though when we hear it on a conscious level, we're like, that's stupid. But it's in your subconscious, so you can't move forward. You cannot create the life you want if you have these limiting beliefs. So you have to dig deep and really understand where that's coming from, and you have to reprogram that.
I agree.
And do it with hypnosis, do it with therapy, do it with scripting the way Mallory did it, do it with it. You have to do, and you have to be relentless about it.
You do. You do.
So, and that's it. And there's no magic pill. You could watch a million of these videos, you guys, and they're all going to say the same things usually. I know, because I was one of those people. Okay, maybe she'll say it differently. Maybe they'll say it a little differently. Maybe I don't have to do the work. You got to do the work, kids. There is no way around it.
Oh,
and trust me, if your girl didn't, let me tell you something. I would have found the easy road to do this, and I would share it with you. But you're gonna have to do the work.
I love that, but it's the truth. Again, you're preaching, girl. You're
No,
preaching.
that is the truth.
No, it's the truth.
Because I know who these people are. Because I was that person.
Oh, no.
And I was sitting there and I was scrolling. I was reading. I was like, somebody just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
You're waiting for something to call out at you when really it's already inside of you, and you need to tap into that and unlock that within yourself. And to do that, you got to do the work.
You got to do the work. I wish you didn't. I wish I could be like, you don't got to do the work, girl.
There's no pill for this, y'all.
But you got to do the work. I have to do the work. MJ has to do the work.
I'm still doing the work.
We're definitely doing. But like you said on the phone, it's easier.
No, it gets easier.
Yeah,
it gets so much easier. And practices like scripting help you work through it. You know what I mean? I want us to continue this conversation maybe on an additional episode, but for those who are interested learning more about scripting, please let us know in the comments and let us know what maybe some of the things you're going to be scripting about if you're going to decide to journal or if you're wanting, Jen to provide some scripts.
Yeah, we could do it. It'd be fun.
I think that would be awesome. So we'll look forward to hearing from you guys.
All right.
Bye. Bye.